Howdy, I'm Joseph Perez. I'm the guy that does the smudge or makes the smudge sticks. I'm a Gila River Indian, Pima from the Gila River Indian community in southern Arizona. I grew up on the reservation, spent all my young adult life there until I was 17. Then I joined the military and I was in the military for a long time. So my grandfather is the one that actually taught me how to gather the sage, uh, how to bundle it, dry it, bless it. And a lot of people have been asking, how do you light the smudge? They've had a hard time. There's a lot of people that have questions about it because it's not part of their culture. It's something that is new to some people and it's old to some other people. Um, but our sage is a little bit different than most sage that people get. A lot of the sage that's out there is like manufactured in China, and it comes over and is put into the like Whole Foods and all those other stores. Our sage is 100% natural. It's, I guess you call it organic. We don't you know put any pesticides or anything on it. And the sage we use is really mainly kind of a lavender sage. Some people call it a Texas sage. Um, and so when we harvest it, I'm the one that harvests all the plant. We start by, you know, asking the plant permission to harvest it. We thank it. Uh, Typically, we try and give it a gift of something like some tobacco, and we go ahead and cut the leaves or cut the stems with the leaves. Uh, I bring that back home. Um, I bundle it into bundles like this. This one's dry though, and they're wet with cotton, 100% cotton, red cotton. Red is a color that in my culture, at least with Pima's, red it represents life. And that's why I use red as opposed to purple or yellow or anything like that. Those colors do mean stuff, but red means life in my culture. Um, and then we let them dry, and it depends on the time of year how long it takes to dry. So, of course, summer here in Arizona it can be dry in a day and a half. During July and in winter, like now in December and January, it can take up to 2 weeks for it to dry. So there's some drying time involved. Um, but what I'm going to do today is show you how to light a smudge. Uh, I'm going to go through a little bit of blessing and how to bless yourself and how to get ready for that. And I think it's real important for people to understand that uh, I'm doing this because I feel like I need to in my heart and my spirit. It's something that I've always done. My wife has a really good friend who saw that I was doing it, and she was just blown away. She was like, "Where did you get that smudge?" I said, "Well, I make it." She says, "I can't find any. People have a hard time finding it." And it's all native. It's all natural. It's the way we do it. There's all kinds of Indian tribes out there. There's over 500 Indian tribes. They all do it differently. They all bless differently. So don't hate on me out there and say, no, that's not the way you Native American smudge. Every tribe is different, and within every tribe, everybody's a little bit different. I'm Pima. I do it different than the Maricopas and the Peepash, and those are all people that are part of my tribe. So where we're at in the world today and what we're doing, to me, it's important to understand that we have to love each other and we have to welcome each other. And that's something that in my tribe, the Pima, we have a long history. For as long as we've existed within the earth and the universe, we've always welcomed people onto our reservation. We were never really a warrior-like tribe. We didn't fight people. We invited them on, and we were interested in their culture. And they could stay as long as they wanted, as long as they were positive in that sense. So that's really where I come from with it. But today I got a bunch of smudge here that I had previously blessed and gone through. It's been bundled and it's dried. I also have one of my smudge bowls, which is mesquite, and it's mesquite wood that I hand cut and then I kind of carve it out. And I'm gonna light a smudge bowl as well as a regular smudge, so you guys can kind of see that. The mesquite bowl is used primarily and really only for loose sage, and there's really kind of two kinds. There's the leaf. You can see this is like the loose leaf sage, and then there's also this which I really don't sell, which is the sticks that are kind of left over. And this stuff gets blessed just like anything else because I use it to conduct blessings with for the smudge. So for the loose, what I do is I just really take a handful and squeeze it good and tight, put it on the smudge bowl, smash it down, and you're gonna lose some. And I use my thumb to kind of make a little flat area there. Now you can use a lighter, regular lighter, you can use matches. I'm telling you to use one of the lighters that's like a little jet engine, because it really makes things a lot easier for you. Feel where the breeze is coming from. If you have real strong wind, this stuff is going to fly around, but it'll help. But you want to feel where the breeze is coming from and kind of turn your flat edge towards that. So the breeze today is coming from the east and going west this way across me from my left to my right, which is kind of opposite for you watching. But and you light the smudge. You'll see you'll get a good cherry on it there. And when you get one, you just stop and blow. A good steady breath, firm. And you see it go. Sometimes what I even do is I'll cup it with my hand to hold it down and kind of compress it. And then you see how it started. You see how the breeze kind of carries it along. And this is primarily how you do the loose sage. And you got to remember it's not incense, so it's not processed, charcoal that will continue to burn like you put in your grill. It's smudge. It's a leaf or its stem, so it needs that air and that oxygen in order to smolder. But you can see how that goes. And this is what I use to do all of my blessings with. I do use the loose sage. I typically don't use the smudge. I use the loose. I don't know if you consider maybe it's a little bit more advanced because it's a little bit more experience to work with it. But in the end, that's how you like the loose sage and how you can use it to do blessings on yourself, on your friends, on your home, or any other objects that you have. So I'm going to set this aside here. The breeze take it. Now, on the smudge, our smudge is pretty good size. And really when it comes, it depends on kind of how much the post office beats it up. So sometimes you'll get a smudge that will have an end that's kind of like this, nice and good. Sometimes you'll get a smudge that has a little bit rougher. And you'll also see that when you get a smudge, we wrap it in paper, and I'm the only one that touches it. No one else touches it. So the energy that's put into the smudge is all mine. It's all positive. I'm the one that harvests it, I bundle it, I dry it, I bless it, and then I wrap it. And once it's wrapped, then it goes. But you'll see how there's sage that comes off, the dry sage. And that's really how you know that it's ready, because you can see it's. I've had people say, "Oh, you tried to glue the leaves on the stems," and we don't try and glue the leaves on the stems. It's just the way they are on the outside. They come off much more than on the inside. But you can see, you get the dry smudge. It comes off, and it'll be in there in the wrapper, and that's normal. I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, it's dry and it's crumbly, it's no good." Well, that's really how this sage works. There's lots of other different sage that's used, and it doesn't work like this one. But this is the way this one works. So take your smudge stick. What I would tell you to do is kind of hold it at a 45-degree angle to you. You can hold it 90-degree perpendicular, 45. Take your lighter or your match, and you just want to go ahead and hit it right in the middle. And once again, you're going to get a good cherry in there, and you see it'll light up. And now once you get a good cherry like that, you want to stop and hit it right away with your breath. And if you're lucky, it'll light right away, and some of them do. This one might take just a little bit more, but And you got to do a good firm breath. And I wrap it pretty tight, so sometimes it takes a little bit to get going. And be careful, because sometimes those hot embers will fly off on your skin, and you'll get little heat there from it. But you can see how that gets going there. And that sage, this smudge stick's pretty much lit, ready to go. Now, like I said, you're gonna have to keep blowing on it, because it will go out. You just hit it with the lighter again when it does. So, in terms of blessing, there's a couple, I think, key elements that you need to look at. Is number one, you need to be in a positive mood. You'll see there's a write-up on our Facebook page, and it talks about being unemotional. Unemotional means you don't want to be angry. You don't want to just come out of a fight. You don't want to be in a highly energized, emotional way. You want to be able to be level-headed and be calm. And that's for the sake of energy, because we're all made of energy. We're made of light. We vibrate at certain frequencies as human beings, and so does the sage. So you want to be in a positive way. The best thing to do is outside. If you have a pool or near water, start there, because water is very positive. Water is very powerful. And typically what you'll do is you'll light your smudge. You'll get it going pretty good. You'll smudge yourself to cleanse yourself, and you just want to start at the top of your head, go down to your body, your arms, and each leg. And once you've smudged yourself, you got that cleansing going. And then you want to do an initial prayer. And you can call it a prayer, you can call it a chant. What I do and what I've said is just what I've done and part of me. There's no wrong or right. Anybody can do any kind of chant, any kind of prayer, anything from within the Bible if you even want. What really matters is that you're being positive to yourself and to the world in order to smudge yourself. So let me see if I can get this going here real quick. So we got the smudge going. If you have a wand, which is any feathers, you can use that to smudge yourself. Make sure you get the smoke across your body. To give yourself just a good initial cleansing. Now, when you order a smudge from us, you'll see that there's a small prayer that's written on the paper, and that's really kind of an abbreviated prayer of what I typically do when I bless. And what you want to do is acknowledge the Creator, acknowledge Mother Earth, acknowledge that we need to love, we need to forgive, we need to live in harmony with our world. And then you want to acknowledge the four directions: north, south, east, and west. Actually, I'm sorry, north, south, west, and east. We finish with east, because the east is where life begins. Then you want to acknowledge the earth and water, and the sky and the stars. And that's kind of our up and down. Once you acknowledge those, You want to acknowledge the Mother Earth, the Great Spirit, and you're ready to go. You're ready to help cleanse yourself, cleanse friends, cleanse your house, cleanse any objects or anything that you want. But that's really kind of the short of it. I didn't want to take too much time. So if you have questions, go to our Facebook page, Pima Sage. Let us know what questions you have and we'll get them answered as quick as we can, and I hope this video helped you. Thank you.